morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself, Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual JForex, we will be continuing our algorithm development using the indicator average true range, which can be shortened as ATR. So now we directly head to the Visual JForex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. In the last session, I had carried out this instrument subscription where the default instrument is Euro USD. Afterwards, this position amount was defined and these blocks added. First two are of ATR with a varying candle period. First one is of 4 hours, second is of 15 minutes. And to look at the price volatility, we are also relying on the get historical candle. This one is of 4 hours and these two are of 10 seconds each. And to further define the conditions, we have also taken these calculation expression blocks to define the requirements in terms of price volatility. So this was to set the minimum conditions. Now I will give you a brief refresher of the logic on which we are working. Today the focus is going to be on completing the setup for the buy trade. So I will be giving you the idea of how the buy trade is going to be placed and what are the conditions which need to be in place for any buy trade to be executed. We are relying on the 4 hourly candle period. Let us load this. Okay, so here it is. And we want the trade setup to be fairly simple. So all that needs to be in place is that last 4 hourly candle should have closed with its closing value higher than its opening value. That means in last 4 hours there was buying momentum and that is being manifested with last 4 hourly candle closing with gain. And as and when that happens, we also take on the 15-minute candle period whether there was enough of volatility or not. And for that, we have taken into consideration the 5 pips as the defining parameter for the volatility, and we will need the 15-minute ATR to be greater than 5 pips. As you can observe from the chart, we have higher volatility during the active hours for the Euro USD, and by active hours I mean European trading session running into the late hours of the US session. But after that the volatility drops and we don't really want to get involved when there is not much of volatility, there is not much of a momentum in the price action. So that's why we are going to be trading only when there is enough of momentum. And for that the condition is going to be that ATR value should be more than 5 pips. Okay, and we will be placing the order closer to the low of the last 4 hourly candles, and for that we are taking 20% of the 4 hourly candles ATR. We will add to the last 4 hourly candles low, and that will be the point of entry for any trade. And the stop loss is going to be the half of 4 hourly ATR, whereas the target price is going to be twice of that. That simply means whatever is the 4 hourly candles ATR, that will be our target price. So as you can infer, the setup is quite simple, and equally simple will be my explanation how you can implement this using the Visual JForex board. Here this calculation was carried out to define 5 pips. So I think and we will have the value of 5. Yes, it does. And line 10 is our ATR value, which has been 19 represents, yes, 4 hourly ATR, and it has been multiplied by AM, which has the value of 0.2. Now we will have to look at the actual difference, and for that we will have to look at the price volatility. And first thing today I will need to add is going to be a mathematical component calculation expression. We will add 20% of the ATR to last 4 hourly candles low. I have to take candle 15 and whatever is the 20% of the ATR, which is represented by AMP, A1 plus A2, and this will be the execution point for the buy trade. Okay, 5 pips we have already defined. And now what we need is take 2 more calculation expression blocks to define the stop loss and take profit. Whatever is the 4-hourly ATR, we are going to take half of it. So I need to create a new variable with the value of 0.5. And add it to this calculation expression block. And now we have to do A1 into A2. And this value will need to be multiplied by the pip conversion factor. The current result is going to be in double format, but we will need it to be in integer data type. And since the last pip of Euro USD comes after 4 decimal points, we will have to multiply it by 10 raised to the power 4. So to arrive at that value, I will have to create a new variable, and it is going to be 10 raised to the power 4. That means 10,000, 10k, 10 grand. This will be A1 into A2 into A3, and this will be our stop loss, but I will not create the variable here. Once we bring in the take profit, we will create the variable here. Or for the time being, I can do one thing. I will first add the trade command block, but we will not join it anywhere. We will keep it on the sidelines, but the variables can be created. So stop loss needs to be in integer data type, and its value will be the function of this calculation. And take profit is going to be simply twice of the stop loss. So we take this value and multiply it with a new variable with the value of 2. So 2, and this will be again A1 into A2, And in this case also, take profit variable needs to be created with data type of integer. Alright, this is in place now. I will leave it somewhere here. Now let us bring in the logical block of multiple action, which I will join to this block of calculation. If suppose later on we need to add further blocks of indicators or any component, we will disconnect it. We will need to disconnect this flow and add the blocks, and after that we can again join it back. Okay, now it's time to bring in the if blocks. Even I am not really sure how many of these we are going to need, so we will add as we go. And first thing is that last or early candle should have closed with gains, so we need to compare candle 15's closing and opening values. Candle 15 close will need to be higher than candle open. Now first input greater than second input. Okay, first input is greater than second input. Now we need to look at the price volatility, and as I had said while explaining the requirements on the JForex platform, we will be looking for 15-minute volatility, and there the ATR should be more than 5 pips, which we have defined in this variable VNO. So again, first input greater than second input. Okay, and that's it. Our requirement is fairly simple. Now all we need is to execute the trade whenever the price starts to rise above the predefined price point, and that price point is here, BE, which is going to be 20% of the ATR from the last 4 hourly candles low. So we have to take the help of this candle 16 and candle 17 and compare these values with the BE. We are going to need two if blocks here. One is added, one more will be needed. Candle 16 is the last 10-second candle and it should have closed higher, whereas candle 17 is the candle with the look back period of 2 and it should have closed lower. So we will need candle 17 candle close to be less than BE, and candle 16 candle close higher than BE, and after that we can go for the trade execution. First input greater than second input. Before we add the input parameters for the trade command block, let me arrange this for if blocks on the lower side so we don't get confused how the trade flow is going through, what are the conditions. trade command. Coming to the parameters, lot amount is going to be 0.1, slippage 2 pips, and we have already defined the stop loss and take profit levels, okay, for which the calculations have already been carried out. This is the setup. I hope you have been able to understand it. And with this, our session is also coming to an end, and you can try it out on your own. This one is quite simple to build, and in next session we will be completing the sell side of this equation, and after that you can run the test on this particular data to see whether it is profitable or not. Thank you all for joining in, and I would also like to remind that if you want to go for the further market coverage, you can access our Dukascopy analytics page, and to start trading, the JForex platform is there. It's quite simple to understand, and you can start to trade right away. If there is any assistance required, you can write to me in the feedback section. We are also present on the Facebook. You can follow our page. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.